Buckle up, taste buds. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. What do you snack on during a road trip? Join me today for some of my favorites, and I'll show you how to make them at home, now on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? Good morning all, I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein in the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida in Coconut Creek, and welcome to SoFlo Taste. Are you loading up the kids and piling into the Queen family truckster and heading out onto the open road? Well, don't move an inch until you've watched today's taste, because I thought it would be fun to give you some great snack recipes to make those miles fly by. So let's get cooking. We're gonna walk away from this for a second to jump into this. When I was in Minnesota last year, which, by the way, we go to Minnesota every year. My daddy was from there. My husband went to high school there. We love it. So we get a house near a lake, and we hang out, and some friends come over, and they brought this snack. I didn't have any, and it looked, let's just say maybe not necessarily in my genre of snacks, but it looked and smelled pretty delicious. It's called puppy chow. My son went crazy over it. So what I'm gonna do is, let's microwave this. This has butter, peanut butter, and chocolate. Once it's melted, we will talk about the rest of it, which is Chex Mix and powdered sugar and a few. So let's jump into something that's a little more my style. I love tortilla española, which is a Spanish omelet. This dish is something my mother used to make for us when we went to Orlando to go to any kind of amusement park. She would cut it up in little pieces and hand it back to us, and we dip it in some ketchup. And this was just my favorite thing. This is really a wonderful snack. It is kind of healthy, kind of not so healthy. It does have a lot of fat, but it's really delicious. So the first thing I did was cook a lot of potatoes, and I love cooking the Yukon Gold for this one, in some olive oil. And once they became really cooked through completely, and by the way, it's a good amount of oil, we'll strain that out in a sec. And then you start adding onions to it. And then you cook until the onions get nice and soft, which they are at their point right now. In this bowl, I have some eggs that I've whisked up. All I'm gonna do is heavily season it because nothing has been seasoned yet. So this is really the only thing that will be. So let's season it well with some salt and put in some pepper. So whisk that up really, really well. And the most important part of the tortilla is actually right now, because what we're gonna do, we're gonna strain the oil out. I'm gonna put this back on the heat. Once you strain the oil out, the most important part is the cooking right now. You're gonna add this hot mixture into this egg mixture, and mixing this together, bringing the heat of the oil, the potato, and the onion into the egg is the first step in making a perfect tortilla. Because what we're doing is we're almost starting to kind of temper and cook the eggs now as we mix this together. Okay, now I'm not gonna throw this oil out because we still need the oil to cook, right? So I'm gonna put the oil, about half of it, back into the pan and pour the tortilla mixture right in. Make sure you get every last bit of egg, potato, and onion. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start shaping it. Using the rubber spatula, you start shaping the tortilla. So as I come around, I start kind of moving it, shaking it. Don't let your heat get up too high, because what's going to happen is it will caramelize all the way on the bottom without cooking on the top. You start kind of shaking it, moving it over, getting all the runny part out to the sides. Keep moving it around, keep shaking, keep shaking, keep shaking. Now there's two things you can do. One, you can just throw that into an oven and your life will be much easier. Two, you could just keep it right here and keep working on it, and then obviously eventually flipping it. So let's go in the oven to make life easy. Okay, so I'm gonna go into a 350-degree oven. Okay, so for the puppy chow, we're gonna pour the melted chocolate butter and peanut butter into the Chex Mix. Give it a good mix. Make sure it's really well coated. Then, the one thing I've heard is that you don't mix the powdered sugar in the bowl, because then it would be a big mess on your counter. What you do is you pour the puppy chow into a closable bag, and you pour the powdered sugar in there and shake. So I'm going to do that when I'm not on camera, so that if I make a disaster, you won't see me. I'll see you in a minute.
Come back to the Goya Kitchen at JA World, Michelle, and the food. This is SoFlo Taste.
Coming up right after SoFlo Taste, it's SoFlo Home Project with me, Elena Capra, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Elena. We'll watch you next here on Local 10. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste, and welcome back inside Junior Achievement of South Florida's JA World in Coconut Creek, a place dedicated to our children's education. Is your student looking for a summer internship, by the way, or does your company need interns? There is still time to get together with Junior Achievement of South Florida. For information about paid internships, go to jasouthflorida.org or call 954-979-7100. Now back to snacks on the go. Okay, everybody, so I closed the bag, so we should be okay. And all we have to do is shake up the Chex with the chocolate and the butter with the powdered sugar. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hand these off to my incredible elves in the back, and they are gonna put this into little containers, so it would be perfect to drive around with your kids and let them get excited with their puppy chow. All right, the next dish I want to show you happens to be my son's favorite in the morning. I'm a little embarrassed because it's not the healthiest thing, but he ate some of these in Hawaii on a trip where I had to go cook there, and he's been stuck on it ever since. This is called the Spam Musubi, and at least I went light Spam. This time, I don't know if that means that it's very light, but I went on with light Spam. And so what you do is you sear Spam and you eat it with sticky rice and seaweed and a delicious sweet soy mixture. So let's start with a mixture of soy and sugar. We're gonna put that into a little pan right here, and we're just gonna heat it barely on very low, just until the sugar melts into the soy sauce. Next, I'm going to turn on a saute pan on a medium-high temperature, and let's fry up some Spam. So this is the loaf of Spam. So to cut it in the middle would be like so, and then you could either cut it in half to make it really fat, or you can cut it into 3 equal slices. In Hawaii, you would normally find it about that thick. So let's go ahead and make 2 Spam Musubi. In my rice cooker, I've got 1 cup of sushi rice. For a topper, furikake, and furikake is a rice topping mixture that you find at Asian markets. Today I chose one that has a little bit of a wasabi note to it. And then finally, we've got seaweed. So we are gonna make a little cut of seaweed to go around our Spam today. So take a scissor. Let's go ahead and put these in the fry pan. I suppose I could add oil, but I'd really rather not. Let's go ahead and cut a nice long slice of nori to go around our Spam Musubi. So this is a Spam Musubi mold. Yes, they sell these, and they're very popular. And so I found this online, and this is to press the rice just perfectly and then to press the Spam into it. It's just all so damn cute. I'm just gonna put this like this. I'll put my mold right over it to be ready. And while we wait for the Spam to cook, let's go ahead and check on our tortilla española, because I have a feeling it's probably done. By the way, this is how you get your puppy chow when you're in the Midwest. When you invite people over, sometimes they might bring this. So let's check on our tortilla. and it absolutely looks done. What I would do is pour off a little bit of the oil, if you get any off, just in case you have any excess. Put a plate right over, flip it onto it, and there you have a gorgeous tortilla Espanola. In a little bit, we'll cool this off, we'll slice a couple pieces, and I'll show you how we would pack it for a trip to go, because this at room temperature is delicious. Let's go ahead and check out our Spam. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's getting beautifully caramelized. All right, so let's be ready for it. Let's open up the rice cooker. So for the first one, let's take a nice amount of rice into our mold and simply press down like so. How is my sweet soy looking? Oh, it's ready. Okay, shut off your sweet soy, allow it to cool. I'll put this over here so we don't forget it. Okay, so push down as hard as you can. You really need this to stay together. Yeah, okay, that's really packed in there. Okay, use your finger to just kind of push up. So this is how you put this thing together. We'd put a piece of Spam on top of each little rice patty, like so, and like so. Then go ahead and bring your soy a little bit closer. So I'm going to make my counter a little bit of a mess, but it is what it is. So you take a little bit of the soy mixture, make sure it's melted in really well, and I'm just going to drizzle it over the top like that, which keeps the seaweed closed. Do the same over here. Like so. Then I'm going to take some plastic wrap, and you lay it down nice and flat. Place your Spam Musubi right over the top. Do another little drizzle so that you have a little extra of your soy glaze. Your furikake goes right over. And then you wrap it as tightly as you can, like that. And then around this way and around that way. And then you have a beautifully tightly wrapped Musubi. And there you are. You're ready to take this on the road. And it is really disgustingly delicious. Back in a moment. Don't go away. SoFlo Taste will return right after this. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. All of my recipes are available on the SoFlo Show's webpage. Just scan this quick response code. You'll zip on over to the fabulous SoFlo Show's page. You'll also see this QRC on the ingredient list throughout the show. Now back to my SoFlo Taste about snack recipes on the go. All right. This last one really brings me back to my childhood. This is called un sándwich de miga. Miga happens to be the bread. Look at this crazy, thin, beautiful, big bread. This is also used for like tea sandwiches, you know, the British style. So we do a lot of these sandwiches in Argentina. Nothing holds more perfectly on a big trip or a small one like un sándwich de miga. And I'm actually gonna make un triple, which is 3 layers. We're gonna do Argentine sweet ham, mozzarella cheese slices, and egg for maybe the middle or probably the last one. Yeah. So there's a lot of different toppings amiga could have. There's a mayonnaise topping, there's a mayonnaise butter topping, but we're gonna do just the butter topping for this one. So this is some softened butter in the bowl. To the butter, I'm gonna add vegetable oil and water and salt. And this is going to make a softer, obviously, spread that will go really well onto the bread. So let's whisk that together. Oh, that's better. Okay. So using a whisk is better than using a spatula. So now we have a spread, and it really looks like mayonnaise. So let's begin building. So the first thing we're going to do is spread the butter mixture on one of the slices of miga. Now my favorite one is eggs and blue cheese, which is called huevo roquefort. But that one I didn't think was going to be a favorite amongst all of my viewers, so I decided to do this one instead. All right, so that is the first layer, and that I think that one will start with the cheese. So this is thinly sliced mozzarella cheese. And obviously, you can use any ham you like. You can use sliced turkey, I'm sure. You know, just turn it into your own. But what is great is it's a thin, stacked sandwich that once wrapped in either plastic wrap or a little bit of paper, holds its integrity all day long. There we go, last one. Okay, let's put another slice of bread on here. Make sure it's really nice and even. And let's do some more of the butter topping. Nice and even amounts of butter. You know, it would be delicious miga, although I've never seen it. I'm sure it exists. It would be like a nice roast beef miga. I love the day after I make steaks at home, whatever's left over, I turn into roast beef. Even if it's a New York strip, you can make roast beef out of it. Okay, then I'm gonna do the ham. Nice long thin strips of it. Never go outside too much. Everything has to stay on the inside. Okay. Like so, and like so. All right. Last one, obviously it's called a triple. Okay. And last amount of butter. Our butter that looks like mayonnaise. Spread this nice and evenly. Beauteous. Now this part, some of you might not love because it has sliced eggs. These are just some hard-boiled eggs that we made an hour ago. So all you do is take them and lay them across nice and evenly. If you don't have an egg slicer at home, I highly recommend them. These things are awesome. This is how I make egg salad at home, so that I don't cut the egg too small. I actually just slice it, and it's my favorite. Now, rather than just doing straight eggs, I think that we should season the eggs a little bit with salt and pepper once we're finished. All right, so let's go ahead and season our huevitos. A little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And lastly, a piece of bread right over the top. Do we dare slice into it? That is the question. So let's go ahead and, by the way, you can get miga bread in any Argentine grocery. You can also find them online. So look how pretty that is. That is half the miga. And then we can slice it down one more time, or we can just slice it into strips. Like, you know what, let's cut this in half. A lot of times you'll find them like this, wrapped up, because they hold up really well. But when I go on trips, I think I'd rather slice it down into smaller pieces like that. There we go. This is what we would take on our trips across Florida. And there you have it, my beautiful miga. Come right back. If you're planning on hitting the road this summer, give these snacks a try. They are road tested and certainly better for your stomach and your wallet than anything you'll find along the way. Now join me next time for another SoFlo Taste from my backyard. I'll be giving you more recipes for a summer cookout. I'll be grilling and chilling with a menu spanning from jerk chicken to banana bread. Coming up on the next SoFlo Taste. Time to check in with design expert Elena Capra, host of SoFlo Home Project. Good morning, Elena. What's next?
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. So today we have advice on creating a home office area that works for you. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we take a look at finding ways to carve home office space out of any area of your home.
Okay, Elena, we'll be watching. So taste buds again. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Mwah, and very good taste. Family Truckster.